Hi, boys and girls. Today's story is Mooseltoe. As I move into presentation mode, I want to remind you that you're going to read along, listen to the story, and when you're done, you're going to answer your comprehension questions. All right, Mooseltoe. 'Tis the season, and Moose was merry. He joyfully tickled the ivories with a tune of tidings and a fury of fa-la-la-las. He was full of ho-ho-hos. Even his moustache had the holiday spirit. But Moose was more than just a bit merry and bright. He was busy, busy, busy. There was lots to be done on his list of to-dos. But with orderly organization and a bit of regimentation and lots of imagination and just some plain old moose know how getting ready for the big day should have been simple, easy, yes, and with all probability just perfectly perfect. He wasted not a merry minute. Moose got moving and put some hustle into the holiday bustle. He went to work. He wrote cards and letters till his hooves hurt. Check. He shopped till he jopped. Check. He hauled home boxes and bags and presents galore. Moose had gifts for everyone stacked from ceiling to floor. Check, check, check. Then he rapped, yo, 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 and he ribboned, ho, ho, ho. And on each and every package he tied a big, beautiful bow. Check and double check. So far, so simple, so easy, and so perfectly perfect. Another look at his list, and Moose headed for the kitchen. He pulled out pots and pans and bowls, shifted through stacks and racks of cookbooks. He whisked with his left and spooned with his right. Moose baked tons of tins of cookies. Check. Dozens of cakes, breads, and sweets. Check, check, check. He made jellies, sticky jams. Moose roasted a goose and some chestnuts. He toasted marshmallows and yams. Check, 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 triple check. Yes, yes. So simple, so easy, but of course, so perfectly perfect. Decorations were up next on his list of things to do and get done. So Moose decked the halls, he spruced up the walls, he beaded and bowed and mooseltoed. He gathered garland, roped wreaths and holly, jingled bells, sang Noels. Oh, good golly, this moose was jolly. Check, 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 check. Last but not least, he hung all the stocking, each and every one with special care. And just in time, too. Soon Santa would be there. Check and final check. Yes, sirree. Ready for Christmas was an absolute, getting ready for Christmas was an absolute snap. And oh, so simple, so easy. And if he didn't say so himself, Moose thought totally, utterly, completely, perfectly perfect. On that night before Christmas, Mother, little Sissy, Bucky, and Junior looked all through the house. What a job Moose had done. Everything looked bountiful, festive, quite fine indeed. There was just one minor problem, if you will. Oh dear, sighed the missus as the five stared at one empty corner. Oh my, oh me, oh glee. Pop! What happened? Cried Junior. You forgot the tree. Oops. Where would they hang the tinsel, string the popcorn, light the lights? Where would Santa leave his gifts for the kiddies on Christmas Eve night? So Moose pulled on his galoshes and put on his hat. he would find a tree somewhere, somehow. And that's all there was to that. So out went the moose, braving blistering, blowing winds and the cold, trudging through snowdrifts, courageous and bold. He first hoofed it down to the corner, not a tree to be had. Then he slid around the block. Oh, things were looking bad. He went back down every boulevard, street, and little road. He looked down lanes and alleys. Every tree had been sold. There wasn't a branch, not a twig, not even a lousy, bowless bough hanging around. Nope, not a nothing, not a tree to be found. No tree, sighed a sad moose as he came home empty-handed that snowy eve. The kids tried to make the best of it. They said, "Oh, so, who needs a tree?" But Moose could plainly see that they were short of glee. He knew he had to do something, and that's just what he did. In the empty corner he stood and spread his arms out very wide. Then he smiled at his children, and he winked at his bride. "Kids," he declared, "fetch your forgotten pop some of that tried and true family glop." So back they came, the kids carrying a big pot of glue, and without a word to one another, they knew just what to do. They each took a part, grabbing strands, taking hold, and then carefully, oh so carefully, they glopped and plopped, they pasted and they pushed, and they pressed, they curled and twirled, every which of follicle hooks, until Moose's magnificent mustache was indeed more than a marvel to see. Moose was just a few needles shy from being an evergreen tree. They strung Moose with lights from his head to his toes. They draped him with tinsel beginning right from his nose. They hung balls that were shiny and bells that twinkled, candy canes, berries, and sugar plums sprinkled. Then they all stood back. Junior plugged in his pop. Yes, Moose truly was one incredible sight. He was glorious and glowing, and boy, oh boy, was he bright. Then Junior placed a star on top of Moose's head. He gave him a kiss and a pat, and they all headed off to bed, except Moose, of course. He stayed in the corner instead, still twinkling and blinking and waiting for Santa. Oh, so it wasn't so simple, and it wasn't so easy, and okay, it wasn't so perfectly perfect. But do you know what? It was pretty close. Ho, ho, ho! Mooseltoe! All right, boys and girls, go back to your Google Doc.